Welcome to the Dissent Agenda. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Cody. We're just two loudmouths with Wi-Fi, a mic, and zero tolerance for bad politics.
Every week, we dig through the dumpster fire that is national politics, so you don't have to. From clown car congressional hearings to billionaires cosplaying as patriots, we call it out and call it what it is.
Then we bring it home, literally. Stick around for our Locals Only segment where we spill the tea about what's going on right here in Virginia Beach.
Because what happens in Washington doesn't stay in Washington. It shows up at our school board, our city council, and on our grocery bill. This is the Dissent Agenda. Let's get into it. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We had to take a little week because my life has been crazy.
Yeah.
Not like my life is not always kind of crazy, but I just couldn't fit it in last week. But I also had this burning desire to get in here and talk. So I'm trying to kind of do a new thing with my hair, and it's growing it out and it's weird. And I'm probably just going to have to shave my whole head. So y'all don't be surprised if next time you see me, my whole head is shaved. But yes. What's going on with you?
What's going on with me?
You learned a new song on guitar.
I did learn a new song. I've learned a couple new songs on guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned Blister in the Sun. That's a fun one that I learned.
Solid.
I learned Stand By Me recently too. So that's a fun one. And more fun than that, my youngest, who got me into playing guitar.
Yeah.
Because he's really into it. We also got our daughter a bass.
That's right. So it's like family band.
Yeah, and so
our family band.
Well, no,
I hope you have a cooler name.
We do have a cooler name.
Okay.
We do have a cooler name.
Yeah.
But they did ask me if I would be in a band. We could do a family band.
Okay.
And so we are a summer holdout. That is our band.
Summer holdout.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And he's already taken my school board song and punk rocked it. Gave it a power chord riff and
sick. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I will be awaiting your album.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I don't know how close we are to an album, but maybe the next trans family dinner we do.
That would be awesome.
We could play some songs. Well, maybe not the next one, but
maybe
the next one. Maybe.
Next, you gotta have a goal, right?
Gotta have a goal.
Gotta have a goal.
But also gotta have a couple more songs and maybe a drum machine because we don't have a drummer yet. But
I can't help you there. I have played bass, but you're already covered with bass.
There's been a lot of bands without a drummer. Nine Inch Nails didn't have a drummer, so
my oldest just saw 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah,
up in Detroit. Amazing. They said the show was amazing, and they actually don't really like shows. They don't really like people or people places, but they actually went to the 9 Inch Nails show and had a great time.
Nice.
Yeah, and recovered from COVID from when they visited us, which I tested negative for COVID, but I don't know where they got it because they still mask everywhere.
Oh, you didn't get me sick, so I was.
I didn't get, that's right. I didn't get you sick. That's right, because you were over at the house. I want to talk about failures. It's been a real week for the current administration at the federal level. They're just failing all over the place. And they're getting some wins, but I kind of want to just quickly just talk about a few things, like the sandwich guy.
The sandwich guy, yes.
Yeah, the sandwich guy. This just goes to show you that you can't indict a ham sandwich because sandwich guy did not get indicted. The DC grand jury did not indict him.
They're trying to charge him with a misdemeanor now that they wouldn't indict him for the felony charges, but they're getting a lot of pushback because
you don't say.
Because in order to try somebody, you have to have a jury. And the jury is made up of the people that live there. And the American people are not behind
this kind of nonsense.
They're not behind the troops roaming their streets.
That's right.
And so they're getting a lot of pushback when they're trying to make these.
And it's not just that one. The Trump DOJ tried to indict a woman 3 times. 3 times they tried to indict her. And all 3 grand juries was like, nah, and it was for assaulting an FBI agent during an ICE raid. Well, maybe if they identified themselves a little bit better. But anyways, but I found it interesting because there was a little statistic that I looked up, and it was out of, just to give people an idea of like the level of fail that this is. It's very rare to not get a grand jury indictment. Prosecutors know exactly what they need to do to get an indictment by the grand jury. I mean, evidence isn't really presented. You'll have some testimony, but like, not, I mean, some evidence, I guess, is presented, but the prosecutors, they know exactly what they need to get a grand jury indictment. And statistically, the rate of which you do not get a grand jury indictment is 0.0006%. And that comes from 100 out of 193,000 grand juries that were convened in DC. Only 11, and I can't remember the period of time I did, but only 11, it was like 3 years, were not the grand jury did not indict. 11 out of 193,000. Trump had 4 this week. So anyways, I just wanted y'all to know you can't indict a ham sandwich. Fertilizer prices are soaring, and energy prices are soaring.
Yeah, a lot of prices are soaring.
And it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, because it's just started that, with the 50% tariffs, 50%
tariffs, and now we've been getting off on not paying tariffs over $800, and that ended like 2 days ago.
There was like a lower tariff, exemption that was going on, and now it's not. So lots of other things are about to get more expensive.
Right, and there's countries that have stopped shipments to the United States. Yeah, we just aren't going to be able to get packages from like a lot of countries. I don't have that list of countries, but it was a lot.
But yeah, so
the CDC staged a walkout. I believe it was yesterday. There was a bunch of people that walked out, and RFK Jr. tried to get a Science Journal to retract an article about vaccinations, and they were like, yeah, no, you're not serious. And it just kind of seems like the opioid crisis was getting better, but like Trump stopped that like with all of these cuts and everything he's doing. And I'm like, are you just trying to kill us? Like, I think they're like trying to kill us.
It's all about money. They don't care whether we live or die.
Yeah.
It's all about money. And you can look at, I mean, he says it's about money.
Mm-hmm.
We need to remove restrictions so that businesses can make more money.
Mm-hmm.
Even all of this bullcrap about crime and attacking crime.
Yes.
If you're out there thinking this is about Trump trying to make you safe, you're an idiot. I hate to be the one to break it to you.
Yeah.
You're dumb. All right. The very first political action committee to max out the amount they could donate to the Trump presidential campaign was a company, Geo Enterprise or something like that. Basically, like the largest prison operators and owners in our country. They were the very first ones to max out their donations.
That's right.
To the Trump presidential campaign. And guess what? They had their very best year ever. 2018, the first time Trump was president. And they're probably new best year ever.
Well, they know that because of like all of this, mass deportation shit and all that, these private prisons know that that's how they're essentially going to make their money, because the government is going to pay them to house all these people.
This is all about making people money.
It's all about money.
Not us. None of us.
No, not us.
None of us. Matter of fact, there was a report out by Wallet Hub about the states that have the most people in financial distress. That means you're struggling, you're in debt, looking to get into more debt because you need to borrow more money to make it, your credit's low, all the symbols of economic distress. Now, economic distress is very prevalent in our country now. But where it's most prevalent are in Texas and Florida.
You don't say.
Now, here's what's interesting about that, though, is Texas and Florida have strong economies. Their economies just don't benefit the people.
That's right. Yeah. And actually, I did see something about Florida housing prices are ice cold. Apparently, Florida is their real estate market. Maybe not prices. Sorry, correct myself. Their real estate market is frozen. Nobody's buying. There's more homes being sold. Florida is in for a time.
Well, and that's going to stretch to a lot of places in the country because nobody's building right now.
Right.
Nobody's building. It's too expensive to build new homes. You can't build them at a price that people are going to buy them. So that people just aren't building, and that's costing a lot of jobs.
Yep.
A lot of businesses.
Well, I mean, when you're rating construction sites, ICE is rating construction sites, right? And
it's hard to get workers.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, so America's not building right now, and that's impacting a lot of people.
Yeah. So I'm going to run quickly through where we're at with all of his other court losses this week. The court halts Trump's attempt to gut the ACA. The court tosses Trump's lawsuit. Trump had filed a cracked out, ridiculous lawsuit against all judges. Of the sitting federal judges in Maryland.
Yep.
Like, bro, what? Some of these people he appointed. Like, what? Yeah, so they threw that out. Judge blocks Trump from opening industrial fishing in a marine protected area because Trump hates the environment. The judge blocks Trump from removing the Voice of America director. And what's really funny is some of these people are just like, yeah, we're not listening to you. Like, we don't give a fuck what you say. They're like, yeah, no, I'm staying in my job.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. You send me an email firing me. Fuck off. Like, that's literally what they're saying. And then the Arizona court rejects GOP efforts targeting mail-in voting because, Daddy Putin told little boy Trump that you guys really should do something about that mail-in voting. And so little boy Trump has been trying to do something about that. And we're going to see even more attacks on our voting.
Oh, yeah. Voter suppression is going to be huge because
because their policies are not favorable.
Nobody likes what they're doing. They're a vocal minority. They don't represent.
Yeah. They flipped that Iowa. Did you see that Iowa state Senate seat? It was like crazy in favor for Trump and just flipped it. I can't recall if it was a 10-point or 20-point flip, but I mean, it was a huge flip. And that flip took away their supermajority.
Yep.
Which, congrats. And then you've got the National Guard in DC's picking up trash and laying mulch. They're doing some landscaping jobs. Really great use of our taxpayer dollars and the beautification of DC and FBI agents.
And these are other states' National Guards.
Oh yeah, and other states' National Guards, right. Like West Virginia sending them in, and they're just like, well, I guess we'll just lay mulch,
doing exactly what they're trained to do.
That is exactly what they were trained to do. And they and the federal agents in DC are mostly handling misdemeanors. They're like literally picking up like drunken publics and shit. Like, these are FBI agents. They have taken massive amounts of FBI agents off of, let's talk about it, human trafficking cases. Why are you?
They've completely removed their structure for addressing major national crimes.
The things they ran on.
And have taken all of those forces and turned them into gardeners and park cops.
Yep. Good news, Alligator Alcatraz will be completely vacant in just a matter of days because a judge said, no, you can't do this here on behalf of, I cannot recall the name of the tribe. My apologies, but there was a tribe that, took it to federal court for environmental concerns, valid, and they said, you got to go. And then the California Supreme Court rejects the GOP redistricting challenge again. And I love this one. So Trump signed that executive order about burning the flag.
Oh yeah, yeah, he did.
And that veteran just walked right up in front of the White House and just set a flag on fire. Got arrested.
Yep.
I actually have not followed up. I'm sure he was released, and but I'm sure they're probably trying to pursue charges or whatever. But it's literally constitutional right to burn the flag, and we will talk about our constitutional rights as that struck a personal chord for me this week, and my expression of my constitutional rights at a school board meeting. But we're not quite there yet. We did. Another federal employee simply refuses to leave after being fired. We talked about that, and then a Democrat in Iowa flips the second state. It was the second state House seat this year, and then Democrats are 3.5 points on generic congressional ballot. Which, I mean, whatever. Like the Democrats right now are just, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but
and I think I read a judge blocked his trying to remove the protections of like few 100,000 Venezuelan immigrants.
Oh yeah. And today I heard he also removed Secret Service protection from Kamala Harris.
Yep. And there's been some letters signed with the names from federal employees from different agencies going.
There's the whistleblower thing that happened this week about
whistleblower.
DOJ, how that all of our data was uploaded to a cloud server that was not
over
government.
300, so basically all of America, 300 million nearly all
data.
of America data has been copied and moved to a separate server for them to use for whatever they want to use for.
And this is where
a less secure server, by the way, not
right. And this is where people who are conservatives and who are Trump voters, does it matter to you that this happened? A lot of these same people are like, I don't want the government to know any of my shit. I don't want to report. I mean, they got mad when Venmo was, talking about reporting anything over $600 that you get. I don't, mind your business. Why? So many of these people went to crypto, all those crypto bros and people who are playing in this imaginary money, which is, by the way, unearned income. You're not doing shit for this money. So how dare you try to pull American exceptionalism because you think you got fucking rich on essentially on monopoly money that can't be traced, and so you think you're so fucking smart because it can't be traced, but yet literally all of your most important information that essentially makes you a fucking human being, like your social security number and your status as a citizen in a country, this country primarily, has all been accessed and copied and put into an independent server somewhere on the fucking ether, the ether. Be for fucking real. I'm so tired of this. Be so for fucking real. You only care about authoritarianism if it's the person that you like in power. You are perfectly fine having a fucking dictator that is actually taking complete control of all of our data and our lives before your very eyes. That's what you voted for. And then you want to dehumanize and demonize people. They're literally trying to somebody called the Democratic Party a terrorist organization. They're calling us a domestic terrorist organization. This is the kind of authoritarian regime language they're using. And they're like, you're missing it. Hey,
yeah, you're missing it.
You're missing it.
And it's wild to me that so many people are okay with just, I mean, what are you willing to give up for
everything?
For what are you getting?
Right.
What are you actually getting? Like some weird dopamine hit that tells you you're great?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's wild to me. And I mean, it's so cult like. It's just really, it's really getting quite scary to think about how many people are,
when they're literally attacking anything that doesn't 100% agree with
yes
and bow down to them. If you're not just like them, you're an evil criminal terrorist devil and you're inhuman. And that's how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they do it. They use this rhetoric. They create this thought loop for weak minds to sit in, that remove people's humanity, so that you can sit at home thinking you're great, and the reason why these people are having all their rights stripped away is because
they deserve it.
They deserve it, and they're not really people. And that's exactly how every atrocity throughout human history has been perpetrated, is by duping people.
Yep, you're the mark.
You're the mark.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're the mark.
No critical thought is applied to anything anymore. And when you try to apply critical thought, they attack you because of their own deficiencies. Like they cannot, they just, it is such a personal attack on them when you are showing them the truth. Because, you know, frankly, I mean, I'm sorry, but like, I made a post yesterday and I'm like, you know, I really wish I knew who somebody voted for before I decide to let your ass out in front of me in fucking traffic. Like, that's where I am right now. You know what I mean? Like, now, if you can say like, man, okay, I see what you're talking about. I still don't agree with some of the things that you believe, Melissa, but like, man, fuck, I made a mistake. I'm good. We're good. Like we can talk from there, and I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to literally try to understand you. But if you are still doubling down on I voted for Trump and he's still the best, then like,
and here's the thing is, it's not about
letting you out in traffic.
It's not about tolerance, and it's not about judgment or any of those things that will hurt your feelings. It's about danger.
Mm-hmm.
If you voted for the absolute authoritarian fascist shit that's happening in our country right now,
mm-hmm.
then either your stupidity is dangerous to me, or the way you think the way you think it's okay to treat people is dangerous to me. And so that is what it's about. It's you are a danger.
That's right. Yeah. And so this is a perfect segue into my own constitutional rights and what I believe and what other people, I mean, this is a very I don't know, sore subject, but I mean, it's a thing, and it's the Pledge of Allegiance. So I have somebody who's obsessed with me, y'all. His name is Attorney Tim Anderson. And he slides in my DMs. So don't think that like whatever you see him post on the internet, whether he's trying to shame me or something like publicly, like that he really dislikes me, because he doesn't. It's honestly like I've met so many men in my life like Tim Anderson. So fucking many men like him. And so there was a special school board meeting called on Wednesday of this week, August 27th, it was called. And it was about this health insurance crisis that the school district is facing it's at the hands of the school board and the superintendent. So the special meeting, and Tim is an opportunist attorney. He's like ambulance chaser. He's an opportunist, and he's running for House of Delegates. And so he
wants to be important so bad.
He does really want to be important really bad. And we all know that compensation for so many things. You know what I mean? That's all of that. So he is suing. He's taking the opportunity to sue the school board. Now, two things can be true at once. He can be an absolute shitbag. Okay. And he can be doing something.
He is right to be suing the school board.
Is doing something great. He's right to be suing the school board. Yeah. And I will not deny him that. Okay. But I also want to keep it real that he believes any good attention. He's like that kid. You know what I mean? You know, the bad kid in school where it's like any attention is good attention, even if it's bad attention. So he thrives on that. Right. Cool. Like you need attention. I get it. And I believe, you know what, it put the school board and the administration on its heels with this threat of this lawsuit. And, he ultimately did file it. And, I support that. Well, every school board meeting, they do the Pledge of Allegiance. And I do not do the Pledge of Allegiance. I think it's weird. I think it's indoctrination. I just put away your virtue signaling patriotism away for just a second.
Yeah, I know that you've been taught your whole life that if you don't dedicate to your country with some sort of blind religious fervor, you're a terrible person.
Right.
But that's
right.
That's cult crap.
It's cult crap. So just like put that away for a second, right? And under any other circumstance, everyone standing and putting their hand over their heart and pledging this blind allegiance to a flag, a symbol, a representation of something. It's weird to me. Okay. So I choose to sit quietly with my hands on my knees and mind my own business while everybody else around me, literally everyone around me, is saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't get up and walk out. I just sit quietly. Well, with Tim Anderson in the audience on Wednesday night, I decided that I was going to, still do my normal thing, knowing this dude's a fucking troll and that he was going to take a picture of me. I mean, I just knew it. So as everybody stood and he realized I wasn't going to stand, I just turned over my shoulder. And if you're listening, I will let you know I waved to him with my middle finger and I gave him a really, really snarky smile. And for the people watching, I did like that. So during the Pledge of Allegiance. So I just gave him the middle finger. And I was right. He had his phone out. So he's taking a picture of me not doing the Pledge of Allegiance while he's not doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, no, he's way too focused on taking a picture of you. Like,
right. And I had gone out to someone's car, and in the time from the Pledge of Allegiance ending to me stepping out for 4 minutes.
It was on Facebook.
It was on Facebook.
Yeah, it was on Insta. It was there.
And it had, I didn't even know it was on Insta. That's hilarious. I can only imagine. It probably doesn't have as much as it has on Facebook because he has like 141,000 followers on Facebook.
Because it came in one of our little group texts.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so
yeah.
I was already watching the meeting. I wasn't there at it, but I was watching it on my phone. And so I was like, what?
Yeah.
And so I found it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Last I had seen, there was like 1,800 comments and like 115 shares or something. and so
he got the attention. That's why he did it. He was way more worried about getting the attention clearly than he was about doing what he was upset that you weren't doing.
I mean, look at me. Of course he's going to get attention. Look at me. So, and what's hilarious is he did that to bully me, right? And he knew that his rabid, low IQ, smooth-brained followers he was chumming for them.
Yeah.
And boy, did they come. They came with every low-grade B-level insult they could muster, from inside themselves. And all they could talk about is like my physical, my tattoos and just basically and attack me like with and I'm like, y'all, I have such high self-esteem. Like, I don't give a fuck about words of affirmation. Literally on my love languages, words of affirmation is my lowest one, my least part of love language, whatever. So, I had friends texting me like, I just want to tell you you're beautiful. And I'm like, oh, you guys are really sweet. Like, I swear to God, like, I literally do not care. But, I did, some of my friends were like, oh, hell no, y'all are not going to get away with this.
I've seen him in the comments. Yeah.
My daughter left no crumbs. my daughter she made me blush. Like she told one dude, like because he said I look like something. I don't even remember what it was. And she said, you look like you fuck your sister. I mean, so sorry, audience. But I mean, I'm just like, yes, left no crumbs. She ate a full buffet. And yeah, so but I started getting messages in my DM.
Of course.
Some really ugly, nasty messages in my DM. I, of course, they started going through and my Facebook, like my, and look, a lot of my stuff's private. Public. I do private a few things, usually if it's with my adult kids, but at this point I don't give a shit because Savannah just outs herself anyways. And those, when that happens. But I made sure my batteries are in my cameras in my house. And so I had to go in and just, pull out one of my make sure that we have accessible, eat more easily. It says, well, we have no children that live in our home. It's just me and my husband and the 5 dogs. There's, my 5 dogs are definitely not going to access my firearms. So I'm comfortable enough leaving some of my firearms out and easily accessible. And I think that's sad. And plus I'm a woman, and then, my daughter said, Mama, I don't want you to be different. I don't want you to be somebody that you're not. And I know that this is your passion and this is what you do. And I support you doing it, but it gives me anxiety because the first thing I think is some of these crazy people like it's not a secret where I live, especially amongst the Republican Party. And so I just said, I don't know about other Democrats, but, as a leftist, I'm heavily armed. I have plenty of firearms and I know how to use them and will protect myself with them. But I think it's just sad that this is where we're at. I'm at a school board meeting, minding my own business. An attorney who's running for the House of Delegates thinks it's appropriate to put me on blast because I gave him the finger. He's a little bitch, but I mean, it just shows you who he is, right? And I'm going to keep going and doing that. And if he keeps showing up, I'll give him the finger every time. He can just keep taking pictures. I just want to make sure that he got a picture worth taking. And he did. But maybe we should talk about the actual health insurance problem.
The health insurance problem.
Did you watch? How much of that school board meeting did you watch?
I watched enough to know that they weren't going to do anything about the problem.
Yeah. It's so funny. As I told some teachers there, at the school board meeting that night, we were talking before it started. And I said, what's crazy is this is going to be about a 3-hour meeting. And really, it could be a 20-minute meeting. And that 20-minute meeting is basically telling you hey, yeah, we fucked up.
And we're not going to.
And we're not going to do anything about it. We don't got any
plan to fix it.
We don't have a plan to fix it. Yeah. And the transparency of what you did. But instead, they were tone deaf. They were so tone deaf.
It was so 3 hours of gaslighting.
Yep.
We have given you so much money.
Oh my gosh. The when they started out, these are all the things we've done for y'all. Yeah.
This is why you shouldn't be upset.
Yeah. And Tim Anderson is, instead of going after the conservative and liberal, to be honest with you, there were board members, Kim Melnick, Bev Anderson, and Trinace Riggs on that board. And I love her. Jessica Owens also knew. But they knew last year that this was going to be a problem. And chose to not say anything. All of them. The new board members that were sworn in on January didn't know until maybe March. And I don't think they even really knew or understood it then. But I think the issue is that Tim Anderson and then now Vicki Manning, who I think is going to run for school board in District 9 next year. Mark, just put a little feather in that. I'm pretty certain Williams isn't going to run for re-election, and Manning's going to run because she lives in District 9. and Manning is going to run for District 9 because she just can't handle the fact that she doesn't have any control on the school board. And Kathleen is, it was her little minion, and Kathleen's trying to stand on her own, which she's not going to get reelected next year.
No.
Trust that. So Vicky Manning, I think, is trying to run, but those two, they're really, Tim and Vicky are going after the VBEA.
Yes.
Inappropriately. They are using this. They are creating a narrative that is making it look like the VBA had something to do with this.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to say, oh, this is the VBEA's fault. If the VBEA, the Virginia Beach Education Association,
which is the teachers union,
they said that prices might go up and the teachers union do anything. Here's what they don't mention at all is that Virginia Beach does not recognize collective bargaining for government employees.
That is correct.
So the union doesn't have the power. Literally does not have the legal power to bargain with the school board for anything. And so the whole narrative they're trying to create is that the union didn't bargain with the school board when it's illegal for the union to bargain with the school board because the city does not recognize collective bargaining.
And they can't even bargain with the school board. So what people need to understand is it's called consolidated benefits. And basically the city of Virginia Beach at a city council level, okay? The city of Virginia Beach controls benefits. Whatever the consolidated benefits office chooses for employees, that is what they get. The real problem here is basically mismanagement of appropriating funds for the last several years. And I'm not speaking from the finance director's perspective. I'm actually I'm not saying this is Crystal Pate's responsibility in any way. What I'm saying is that they used American Rescue Plan funds, which were one-time funds that were going to run out. And they were trying to, the idea was they were trying to help the staff with the rising premiums as to not impact them because the ARP funds were given, during COVID, right? And so we had, inflation because of COVID, which was, by the way, global inflation. It wasn't the Biden administration. It was literally global inflation. Everybody in the world felt that. So they were trying to offset those increases, but they were using one-time funds. So instead of appropriate using those funds to do other things and budgeting, okay, around these increases, that it's still okay if the school wants to kick in a little bit more than their 50% to cover employee premiums. They just have to make a decision to do that. And they didn't. And so they hid it by using these one-time funds from the staff and then said, oh yeah, by the way. And it was after they had signed their contracts for this year because they knew. I mean, the fact of the matter is, even if employees had known about these rising costs of insurance, they likely would have re-signed their contracts anyways, because it's not like there are other positions open in other school districts, but
it's not like they can all leave.
It's not like they can all leave, right? So they chose, this administration with VBCPS made a choice to not even have the discussion. They could have started the discussion and given people a prep time and introduced it softly, right, to soften that blow, but still have transparency and honesty. And they chose not to. And so it was a wasted 3-hour meeting of a bunch of gaslighting and fluff. And ultimately, there's no solutions for this. They have to have a balanced budget.
They have to have a balanced budget. There's no solution. The solutions were in better decisions before.
That's correct. Yeah.
The solutions were instead of decreasing the schools' budgets so that they could cut property tax, when we're already the lowest property tax city in the area.
Right.
When our city
revenue lost,
when we couldn't actually afford to lose the revenue, then at the same time we're going to spend $80 million on a park down at the beach.
Yeah. parking garages, stuff like that, right? And they don't realize the impact that they're going to have on our city in the future. Schools, we've said this before on the podcast, schools are what brings jobs. Schools are what makes your city and keeps your property values high.
These are people that don't care about the future and don't even say they care about the future unless it's the right answer to the question.
Well, these people are 1 foot in the grave themselves and haven't had a kid in school for years.
They care about themselves. That's it. And that's what I wish they would understand about each other, is that as soon as, and basically every time there is an opportunity for them to throw one another under the bus to get theirs, they do it. And it happens all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All of the time.
All the time. Yeah. September 12th is the next school board meeting. And I mean, I'm coming in loaded for bear. I'm coming for that wrestling coach with the high and tight called a superintendent.
There's so much to talk to them about.
Coming for him.
Yeah, because another Trump administration lost is a federal judge appointed by Trump said that the directions given by the Department of Education on diversity policies and stuff to schools and the threat to withhold their federal funding was illegal.
Of course it was. Trump doesn't care about the law.
No.
They don't. He makes his own rules.
All of those schools that just rolled over and were like, no, please, we know that what you're telling us is illegal to do, but completely gutted their diversity programs and showed themselves that they're scared of just what words mean. I mean, I've never seen so many people just terrified of the actual meaning of words.
They're so soft.
It's a pathetic, ridiculous thing to just be terrified of what words really mean.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This Tea Party guy, hold on. Speaking of that, like this Tea Party guy locally, he goes by James Cohen. I think they call him Turbo or something. He got kind of big mad when I said how soft they are. And he invited me to the Republican meetings at Golden Corral at 8 a.m. on Saturday. And I was like, I'm sleeping at 8 a.m.
No, I'd rather not have two things make me throw up: your company and the food at Golden Corral.
literally me. And then I was like, man, but they're really soft. Like they don't have like a backbone. And I think that's what's they don't have a backbone, and they cannot handle they can't handle the truth.
Well, no, because like when you live in a constant state of dissonance
and fear,
the truth literally hurts.
Yeah. I mean, it's and then it's painful for me. You know what I mean? Like it's painful for me to like watch all of this go down and go, God, it could just be so simple if you just would think about it critically for like 2 seconds, like take your feelings out of it. I mean, because that's really what it is. Like they cannot remove their feelings.
Or you know what? Just don't be a coward and face your shortcomings, become a better person.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's what it's about. Yeah. Is people that are just absolutely unable to buck up and be like, oh yeah, we need to do something different.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, and like honestly, and just like the people that, all these people that were like insulting me about, how I'm not a good example for the children. Like these people have never given somebody the finger. Like these people are they just walk around in perfection.
Sit at their barbecue and slander people and use,
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, the smirk on my face said it all.
And here's the thing is, I know some of them. This part of what, when you have a social media presence, especially locally, people talk to you.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. People message Republicans
you.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim Wilson talks to me. I told you he slides in my DMs all the time.
It's not just the people you think. Some of it's the people they think are their friends and are disgusted with them.
Yep.
Because people will stay in social circles because they'll feel that safety, and their kids play sports together. All of that, So for those of you out there that are, part of this conservative group of people know that just because somebody didn't call you a racist right then, don't think they didn't notice. Don't think they didn't go tell their friends and other people that you're a piece of garbage, because they did. They did. And so you're walking around thinking that, oh, you're just liked because people don't want to be mean to you. And the truth is, like, the stuff that I know about some school board members and things like that, like,
people talk.
They don't understand that I'm just trying not to really, be crude.
Right. Well, right. Yeah, exactly. And it does hurt me. Not hurt me, but it's like painful. It's like it's like a cage almost when I have information and I really want to say it because the piousness, the virtue signaling. Like, there's a former school board member that I mean, she's not on the school board anymore, but she might have a kid that literally everybody says he's gay. And this poor child has this woman as a mother. And I think that deep down she knows this, and she wants to blame
the whole books and
just because her child might be gay doesn't make her a bad parent. It literally has nothing to do with parenting, has nothing to do with books, has nothing to do with anything. And then I'm like, man, if you could just really open your mind and we could talk about it, maybe that would be great. But I'm not going to, because she would never. But also, like, we know shit about people's kids. Some of the school board members that are sitting school board members, and it's really like
some of the families are ashamed of them.
Families are ashamed of them, and I'm like, your family member is ashamed of you, and I know that, but you sit here and you pretend that you're perfect and that your worldview has put you in a position of power over other people, when your worldview is the reason why people that have loved you and still do love you are ashamed of you. I would be wrecked if my kids were ashamed of me. I would be wrecked. Like, I remember when my kids, when they were in high school and middle school, and their friends would come over and stay the night and stuff, and like, it would really bother me the way that these kids would talk about their parents. And when they were gone, I would talk to my kids and say, like, it really makes me sad how some of your friends talk about their parents, because, like, I would be so sad if I thought for a second that you talked about me that way, and not, if you were hanging out with them. And my kids were always like, Mom, oh my gosh, I would never. And like, yeah, but Mom, like, their mom is, or their dad is, da 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 da, And then it makes me sad for their friends, obviously, and we were always like the safe home for a lot of, especially LGBTQ kids, because they could be themselves when they would come to our house versus like they couldn't be themselves when they were at their own house. And it just makes me sad. And then you get this information, people feed you this kind of stuff, and you're just like, ugh, but I'm not going to say it out loud. But I mean, I'm saying it on the podcast, but I'm not going to do it in my like public speech. And I'm obviously not identifying who these
I'm not
school
going to
board members
identify
are.
the people. It's just,
it's not worth it. Like, but
it's not the goal.
No, it's really not the goal. It's just really upsetting. You know what I mean?
It's just really upsetting to know, not just through what they've done on the school board, but to know in their personal life, they are kind of garbage people.
Yeah. Pretty garbage people. So anyways, so that was the big news kind of locally. We do have the 10-1 referendum and all these stupid signs.
Big 10-1 signs trying to, don't have your vote suppressed. Vote no against 10-1. It's like,
your kids, you don't have a vote for your kid. I mean, they are the most outlandish claims. So if you see all these big billboards around, like big signs all around the city that are like, vote no, and they're y'all listen. The simplicity of their message is the point.
Not being able to vote for somebody else's representative is not voter suppression. We don't get a vote for the Senate members of North Carolina or Maryland or anything like that because there's somebody else's representative. And we're not a little city where we're,
almost 500,000 people.
Yeah, there's 500,000 people here.
Yeah, 458,000, I think.
And so giving everybody you're creating a super majority out of any small majority.
We don't need 4 mayors.
Yep. And it's funny because, every time, and I don't bother to jump into comment sections and argue with idiots very often.
Oh, God, sometimes I can't help it, Cody.
I don't. I save my energy for important things. I keep myself informed, but every once in a while,
finger banging the shit out of my phone with these dumb people sometimes. I'll just be like,
every once in a while, I will.
Yeah.
Pick a target.
You will very occasionally. And I always see if you comment on something, I'm like, ooh,
every once in a while, I will pick a target, and I will tell you, not one time has any of these people been able to.
It's crickets.
It's crickets. It's crickets. None of them can say that I'm wrong about how it creates a supermajority and how it completely silences the minority voice. Nobody can argue the math. Nobody can argue anything that I say to them to support the 10-1 system.
Yep.
They won't even repeat their previous statement by the end of our conversation. They just stop talking every time.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I mean, it's a very small group of people that are a very wealthy special interest group that is putting all this money into the no campaign. Okay.
Some are wealthy and some, just because of how they interact, get to be
proximity.
They get to be part of the cool kids club, even though
they're so not cool. Like, those people are the nerdiest people. That's why they don't like people like us, because people like us and we're like decent human beings, right? But these people are, listen, y'all, some of these folks, the mediocrity of some of these white men.
Mediocrity is generous.
In this special interest group it's really just it's quite appalling, to be honest, that they think that the voters in Virginia Beach are going to be so stupid as to fall for their slogans, because that's what they are.
Of course they think that, because they're stupid enough to fall for them, and they could not possibly wrap their brain around thinking that somebody else would be smarter than them.
Right. Yeah. So there's going to be a huge push.
There's going to be tons of money pushed into, because this really just allows the developers and the people with money to basically just buy seats.
But y'all, I'm not shutting the fuck up, because 3 Verizon people woke me up from my nap today. I got a Ring doorbell. I saw 3 people. I'm going to be honest with you, on my Ring camera, when I hopped out of bed, it was because I thought they were canvassers. And so I was like, let me see who's knocking at my door. There's 3 of them. Right. And I really, just to the Republicans, if you're listening, y'all, would you just add me to your canvassers list? I just really would. I love it when Republicans come to my door to canvass.
What I think is fun about,
you have to be lip dropping. You better have something in your hand, and you better be ready to have a conversation. I have 2 really comfortable seats on my porch. Okay.
Well, see, that's what I think is fun about a lot of the Republican canvassers. So a lot of the Democratic canvassers, like, they're volunteers.
Yes.
They volunteered their time for no money because they believe in the candidates. They're there, and they're there to support the candidates. Now, the majority of the Republican canvassers that I've ran into, they're paid. This is a job.
It's a job. That's right.
They take all the money that's pumped into it, and they pay people. These people don't believe.
That's right. They don't. So it's great.
Work. So it's a fun conversation, because you get a few minutes into it and they're like, yeah, man, but I just needed a job.
But they weren't canvassers. They were Verizon, because they just installed Fios on my street. Right. And so I'm switching from Cox, to Verizon now that they have Fios, because it's just better service than Cox. And so I'm doing the thing, talking to them, and I looked at them and I was like, you registered to vote? You registered to vote? You registered to vote? The one little girl was like, no. And the one guy was like, yeah, she's 18. We got to get her registered to vote. I said, you damn sure do. You need to get her registered to vote. And then I proceeded to explain to them how important this election was in November, that they needed to vote and that there was going to be a referendum on the ballot. And I literally gave them a 30-second elevator speech on the referendum. You come knocking on my door. I don't care if you're selling Verizon. I don't care if you're selling solar. I don't care if you're selling milk. You are getting talked to about voting and the 10-1 referendum. And that is just the way it is. At grocery stores, I don't care. I'm even going to probably set up shop at the rec centers. How the city is doing all these little things around at the rec centers to get voters informed about, they can't tell you which way you should vote, obviously, right? They're just giving you information about the referendum. And so I think there needs to be people out there that are like representing why you should vote yes, because the city can't answer those questions, right? And they can't give that they can't really give that perspective, but we can. So there's just,
And then again, it's also another thing because this 731 system is very much a Republican conservative push.
Very much. It's all Republican and conservative people that are pushing this. Yeah.
And the Democratic push is against it.
Well, and the Tea Party is coalesced with the because they're about representation. Listen, you think John Moss and Robert Dean and I would ever be on the same page about any damn thing?
If you have any actual ability to follow logical chain of thought, you would see. But here's what kills me is nobody's pumping money.
You're right. Yeah. Nobody's pumping money.
And you see that all of the time. I see that all of the time.
Republicans got money to burn, all that generational wealth, all that unearned
and Republicans
income.
make decisions that benefit only rich people.
That's right, because they have a lot of unearned income.
Yep.
That's how they got rich.
That's all they care about. And these big corporations and rich people, they want to. A corporation is not a person. I don't care what the law says. It's not a person. It exists. Literally, the only purpose of a corporation is to create a profit. Go take Business 101. That'll be one of the first things you learn in a college level business course, is that a corporation exists to make a profit. That's it. And they want to keep making that profit, and the rich people want to stay rich, and so they will pump money into the party that benefits that, and that is the Republican Party.
Meanwhile, our teachers and janitors, like our custodial, our school bus drivers,
everybody your kids depend on for 6 to 8 hours a day,
they're now getting massive increases to their health care through Centera. And then Centera, due to the Medicaid cuts, is about to lose like $180 million, which is absolutely going to affect quality of care in our hospitals. So not only are we paying more for our insurance premiums for health care, but we're going to be getting worse care. So it's just an overall shit show. And probably this would be it's not a great place to end. I'm sorry, you guys. I just feel like we're just so negative. Like we need to like talk about something fun next time at the end.
Well, talk about something fun, but what you can do if you want to, stop some of this negative story is get out to the city council meeting, get out to the school board meeting, send an email.
Yeah.
Make a phone call. Now, I will tell you, they're not your counselor is probably not going to respond to your email. My neighbors sent Stacy Cummings, shout out to my representative, several emails that he has absolutely not responded to because he doesn't really give a crap about the people. Doesn't care.
No. He wants to be mayor.
He wants to be mayor, and he wants to make him and his buddies richer.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah. He he likes to show off his like Steinhilber's pictures out there with Congresswoman Kiggins, who's like a total coward and isn't like talking to her constituents either. I mean, Stacey Cummings is just picking up tips from Congresswoman Kiggins. But I did hear, I do have a little bit of like Republican gossip, that we need to be looking out. Like they know that Pasquarello is not going to win against Delegate Converse Fowler in House District 96. And apparently that boy is being groomed. He's not even from here. Like, boy, you don't even go here. He just barely moved here 2 years ago. And apparently he's being groomed for mayor. And apparently Stacey is kind of mad about it. I don't know. These are just rumors that I'm hearing from Republicans, because, Republicans like to talk to me. Yeah, so I think Stacey's a little upset. Maybe he might not be the crown, because the conservatives, what they do, and the Democrats they're just not fucking organized enough for this shit, right? The Republicans, like, they have their like line of succession, right? They know who's tapped for this next, I mean, they have like a 5 to 10 year plan for seats, right? The Democrats are like, fuck, can we just get a candidate to run this year?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, I'm really proud of the fact that we already have, we are only missing one person to run for school board, and it's in actually my district. We have not found a candidate yet, but all of the other school board districts, we have candidates. They're ready to go. They're already filing their paperwork, and we are ready to fucking go.
Well, and it's funny to watch, especially some of these Republican candidates move to different neighborhoods and different places, so that they can. Oh, yeah! Shout out Tim Anderson about just moving around so you can try and get yourself a position of power somewhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
crazy. Literally chasing that attention, Tim.
Yep, Tim. Last time he was like moving supposedly into like the courthouse Pungo area so he could run for that state Senate seat. I mean, I don't know if his wife just kicked him out and he's like couch surfing like districts so he can try and get that position of power. I mean, that salary is, I don't know how, he's craving it can't be for the salary, because the delegate salary is like 17 grand.
It's the attention. It's the feeling of,
where he's so deficient and all of the other things. I didn't get enough like pats on the back from his, or hugs from his mom or something. I don't know. But anyway,
I told you I'd be somebody, Dad.
Well, this is a great spot to end it.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Hopefully we were moderately entertaining.
Get out there and participate. That's the most important thing we can do locally, nationally right now is get involved, because if you're not playing, somebody is playing you.
Yeah. And if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So thanks for watching. That's it for this week's dose of national dysfunction.
If you learned something, got pissed off, or just laughed through the rage, do us a favor. Share this episode with someone who still believes that it can't happen here.
Follow us, subscribe, and hit us up on socials, because if you aren't at the table, you are on the menu.
This is the Dissent Agenda. Stay informed, stay loud, and stay in the fight.